Thank you. So before we begin the panel, I think we should give a big hand for our host, as she's been doing a wonderful job. Thank you, everyone. So the theme of the panel, this first panel of the day is Harnessing AI, ML, and Emerging Technologies for Inclusive Growth. So I think all of us would agree that in today's day and age, emerging technologies, or the term called AI, it's so common, and it's a part and parcel of all of our lives. And I think moving ahead, we won't be able to manage without AI. But one more thing I would like to highlight, at least what I feel is, we should stop calling AI as an emerging technology. It is not an emerging technology. It used to be an emerging technology years back. So it is already there. It is a part of our life. We all have been using AI for quite long now. And now we need to understand where we are heading to and how we can utilize the potential that this immense technology holds. So moving to my first speaker, Lieutenant Colonel Kesari Singh. Sir, I would like to understand from you, so in today's day and age, sir, how crucial is it to educate the civil servants that today we have in the government, and to make them understand the potential of this technology and harness, how they can harness the technology, the value that this technology holds in everyday government dealings, in the processes, and further enhancing the value that is driven out of government, overall government operations.
Is it working? Good morning, everyone. Good morning, the panel. See, as you said, AI, we are not new to AI. So I'll give you some data which you have to understand why it has become part and parcel of the life and how it is going to, how we are going to implement it. The most important thing when we talk about the development are SDGs. When we talk about those goals as such, we see Rajasthan as on date, we are almost somewhere between 16th, 17th, and 18th. But when you see look at some other states, like when you look at Uttar Pradesh as such, with a population of about 24 to 25 crores, they have government employees as, say, about 12 lakh. You see, look at Maharashtra as such, with a population of about 12.5 crores, they have government employees at about 7.5 lakh. Even Tamil Nadu, with a population of about 7.7 to less than 8 crores, they have government employees as such as 4.5 lakhs. But when you come down to Rajasthan as such, you see with less than 8.5 crores of population, say about 8.4 crores of population, we have 8,40,000 government employees as such and 12.5 lakh pensioners. So see, in spite of having so many government officials, government employees, and a huge strength of bureaucrats with us, we are still not able to get into the first 5 as far as SDGs are concerned. So that means we are somewhere lacking in e-governance. And e-governance as of now can only be, if you want to put those jet propulsions, that is only possible by the AI. Coming down to RPSC as such, Rajasthan Public Service Commission, I joined Rajasthan Public Service Commission in October 2023. It's been almost 22 months. I've seen, I've attended about 2,600 interviews. I've seen people who are coming and joining. I've seen the youth also. Here, I would like to say one single point, that is, that when we interact with them, I still feel that the government must sit with RPSC, the people, the kind of people we are employing, the kind of people they're joining us, and also presently the department, the IT sector. We would really like to give you that plan for first 3 years so that the start is a rocket start as far as AI is concerned. Because finally, with e-governance, that is the only solution that we can really do a best of the administration with this the biggest state in India is concerned. So that's my first thing. And as for the data is concerned, we are really lacking. Any specifics you want to ask, I can give you, the technical details of that.
Thank you, Kesari. We'll come to that. I think Pradeep, sir, you had to leave early, so I'll first ask you also. So as per, you come from Cuts International, so from your experience, can you help us understand what could be some regulatory or policy interventions that could be used, so that we can leverage this power of AI and the power of other emerging technologies to the best of its possibilities, which, by ensuring that these technology shouldn't create a digital divide, but rather bridge that gap. So how should we, move ahead with that?
Thank you very much. I would like to thank the Economic Times for having invited me here, and also greetings to my fellow panelists. This very interesting session. We are a 42-year-old public policy group and have several centers overseas as well. Now, in the area of AI, let me begin with the fact that digital economy started, coming onto the horizon about 10 years ago. It really sort of caught the fancy and attention of people. And then evolution has continued to take place. And what you are now facing is this very unknown beast, I would say, artificial intelligence, which is, again, a generic term for a very large number of technologies. And there's no such single technology as AI, artificial intelligence. Basically a replacement of the human brain. And one of the fears that we have is that there might be a situation where in times to come that an artificial being can beat a human brain as well. And we don't know what we are heading into. I'm just pointing out to you the downside. But that is the bigger picture of what is actually happening. And many of you might have seen some movies which have already looked into this kind of possibility of artificial intelligence becoming more. On the other hand, there are a lot of benefits also, looking at the way how this whole science is progressing in terms of robotics, in terms of planning, in terms of including architecture, for example. Give you several healthcare. Every possible area of our living, AI is helping us to advance the same. We heard about the fact is that e-governance, for example. Now, if you look at the e-governance in Rajasthan itself, it's one of the few states in the country which has advanced quite a lot, in the sense that you can keep a track of files the way they are moving. What is happening inside the files is not the job of the intelligence, but perhaps AI can be developed in order to tell us about the content of the file also, and not just the motion. Motion is quantitative, but qualitative measurement would help us to do that. Now, in terms of our own work, we work with the United Nations on the whole digital economy, of which AI is now becoming a very major aspect of work. And what is also happening around the world is that every country is being assessed on readiness to digital economy. And that will give us an idea as to where we stand and what is it that we still need to do. And then we come back to the regulatory. Let me come to the regulatory issue as we face all over the world, including in India. The problem with many of these, and in the context of consumer protection particularly, is something which is already engaging our authorities, whether it is the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, or the Competition Commission of India, or the Ministry of Electronics and IT. All of them are engaged in it. So it's not as if people are ignoring what is happening. The Competition Commission of India has set up a separate division on digital economy, which is again going to deal with AI. And let me give you one downside. As I was pointing out, one of the areas of work that we've been doing is competition policy and consumer protection. One of the big worries that we have is, if you are familiar with the term cartelization, in the area of competition policy, when 2 or 3 firms get together and charge the same price to divide the market or what have you. Now, that is being done by human beings. What is already happening is you're developing algorithms to deal with these kind of situations, and therefore, who would the authorities prosecute? Of course, the beneficiary firm would be the one to be prosecuted, but so far, in many jurisdictions, including in India, the concerned executive, the concerned employee who is supervising these operations is also prosecutable. Now, that is something which will not happen. Now, that acts as a great disincentive, as it stands now, for companies to collude to cheat the market or the consumer. Algorithms, for example. So as I said, I mean, there are so many new terms which are coming up, which I'm still learning about, to be very honest. Nobody can become a guru of AI even in the next 10 years, because the evolution will be much faster than the way you can even comprehend what is happening. But the fact is that what we need to do is to regulate it properly and to ensure what you said is that it reaches out to the corners of our country or wherever in the whole global south. It is already happening that, let me give you an example. That you require a lot of collaterals. One big collateral is power. The other is availability of internet, broadband. Unless we deal with those collaterals, you'll not be able to progress on digital inclusion. Thank you.
Thank you, Pradeep ji. I do have a follow-up question on the global south that you mentioned and the digital economies that are being developed. But before I come to you, I would like to move to Dr. Prabhat. Sir, you come from Jaipuria Institute, a director at Jaipur Institute. And also one more thing which Pradeep ji just shared is we need to focus on how AI is being developed, how it is being used. So I think institutions where technology is being taught, where technology is being developed is also a place where it kind of holds that importance that it is the one who's directing and giving direction, the growth of the technology. So coming from Jaipur Institute, sir, how at your institute, how are you ensuring, how do you see that these technologies, how are they being given direction to be developed ethically and that it should have fairness? So how is the Jaipur Institute working on that front?
Very important question. In education, if you look at the headlines these days about the jobs prospect for the students and all, mostly these headlines are looking like a kind of disaster warning, that everything is going to go out of hand, right? But at the same time, you have experimentations which is going around in the world. I can refer a lot of experimentations where it has been seen that the students who were given the AI-based training and the students who were not given the AI facilities, the students who have actually used the AI facilities, their academic performance have been much better in English proficiency and other subjects as well. Interestingly enough, this kind of experimentation also indicated the fact that there is a gender parity in it, and the girls actually have performed better than the boys when given the AI, So, I mean, if you go by, yeah.
That's a disparity.
Okay. So, looking at, it can go both sides, right? So how Jaipuria has approached is that we are a mission-driven business school. So the first thing that we have done is to reconstructed our mission. So that is the first job we have done. We reconstructed our mission. We have said that, okay, technological dexterity or technological agility or AI is important. That's the first thing that we have accepted. Second that we have done is that we created a full-fledged AI policy. Now, this is very important beginning for any educational institution. So I'll give you 5-6 principles on which this policy has been based, which is very useful for any educational institutions. The first is that, this policy values originality. So you have to find a ways of how to promote originality. Second, this policy values transparency, right? This policy values collaboration. This policy values scholarship. When you look at the very definition of critical thinking, let's say, one of the very important aspects of student learning, we say that, okay, critical thinking will go down with AI and the cognitive laziness will come with AI. Is contrary to that, how you use AI will actually decide whether it is going to create cognitive laziness or cognitive agility. And therefore, you have to actually look at how the students are using it, critical thinking and other things. So this is the basic principle. Now, what is the framework that we have used? The framework that we have used is that we have divided into 3 broad components. We have created a center for AI. We have committed a lot of investment in it. And then we have started building the chatbots and our own agents, which is indigenously developed. So we are not actually importing and then transplanting it in our system. What we are doing is that we have a brain-based teaching pedagogy. There are certain 4 or 5 principles that actually governs learning, right, for the students, as far as brain-based learning is concerned. Now, how AI can actually help advancing those basic principles is the basic cause which we have worked on. So there is one segment, curriculum assessment. We are also using AI in assessment, curriculum and assessment. Second part is, we call it student success. Student success means how we are helping them in preparing themselves for the better world, for interview process and other. Third segment we are working on is the faculty, to help the faculty, how they can become a better teacher using AI, and how AI can help, and also how they can advance research by using AI. Now, these are the 3 broad segments. Now, in the second round, if you ask me the question, I'll give you the tools that we have been able to. So the word that we are using for our business school is that we are AI native. And this is different from AI enabled. So we are not an AI enabled institution, we are actually AI native institution. So AI native institutions, basically building AI around our needs, and it's all indigenous. So that's how we are proceeding.
Heena ji, so after Dr. Prabhat pointed out some really good insights, he also mentioned about how they are using AI in various areas, be it the learning of students, tracking the assessments, and then training of the faculties. And in many other areas. I would like to move to you, ma'am, to understand, if we talk about governance and policy. So what strategies can the state governments employ to foster a more decentralized and democratized AI ecosystem? And how can they empower local innovators, startups, or civil society to build and deploy solutions that are tailored to that, local areas?
I would first like to share with the audience that I'm a historian by training and public policy and communication professional. I'm employed as such. We historians are known to be somewhat of armchair critic and always bring out the problems, but I think what others miss is that also we can learn so much from history and put that into practice. And the unique thing about AI is that it's democratizing, right? You can access knowledge, skills from any place, right? And that has been on the minds of our policymakers. We have seen with initiatives like Swayam or Bhashini or Nishtha, where the government has made a conscious efforts to ensure that, that the youth or the public knows more about technology, is able to access AI easily. But while I, count down all these initiatives and efforts by the government, one must realize that all these efforts have come from the government, and there has been a top-down approach to how we approach AI technology, how we plan to use it, right? That needs to be changed a little. India is so diverse. India has so many localized problems. India has such vast talent pool that we need to be ableized to best of its ability, right? So we need to democratize the technology itself. We were doing, I think, such great work with Atal Tinkering Labs. And I remember as a policy professional, I was talking to the head of the Center of Excellence of AI at IIT Madras. And I was telling him about how students in my college use ChatGPT for their exams and for their answers, and I feel that that would have a negative impact on their comprehension skills. And I was talking to him about how we need to make better use of AI and how kids need to be taught better about AI. And he told me, Heena, at graduate levels, it's already too late, right? So I feel the policies regarding what we were doing with Atal Tinkering Labs or Paramarsh scheme, right? They are already in place. We need to make sure that we implement them better. We are consistent in our efforts in how we enable our children, how we enable our youth to use AI technology, right? Government efforts are good, but they cannot be sustained for very long, right? And India is so diverse, government cannot step in everywhere, right? There are so many local problems, so many adaptive solutions that we need. There has to be a bottom-up approach. What government can enable is that people, the students, the young population is able to learn those skills very early on, and not just at the IITs, but at every liberal college, at every school. There needs to be an Atal Tinkering Lab at every school that is, as Sir said, AI native and not just AI enabled.
Thank
I
you,
think
Heena.
that should be the first step.
Thank you, Heena. Thank you for those wonderful words. Moving to Arvind. Arvind, you are a tech creator. So, of course, you are the man who is tracking the tech trends almost day in and out. So, can you help us get an insight on how the technology has been evolving, shaping up, especially in terms of AI? And if we talk about, let's say today, all of our smartphones have AI features, right? So what should be a few things, if you can point out a few things that people should be really careful while they're using those AI features or those technologies? So how should we go about that?
गुड मॉर्निंग गाइस। सबसे पहले तो मैं अपने वर्ड्स को बहुत सिंपल रखने की कोशिश करूँगा, क्योंकि एआई के बारे में जब भी बात करते हैं तो बहुत ही कम लोग इंटरेस्ट दिखाते हैं, क्योंकि जो चीज़ सामने होती हुई दिख जाए बहुत ऐसे बड़े लेवल पे वो लोगों को ज़्यादा जल्दी समझ में आ जाता है। ऑल्सो अगर हम फ्यूचर की बात करें, ऐसा हो जाएगा वैसा हो जाएगा, लोग बहुत कम समझने में इंटरेस्ट लेते हैं। जब क्योंकि हम एक टेक चैनल चलाते हैं, एक्चुअली 4-5 चैनल्स वी हैव, तो हम डेली लोगों से इंटरेक्ट करते हैं। लोगों के फीडबैक हमको वीडियो अपलोड करने के 1 घंटे आधे घंटे में बहुत सारे मिल जाते हैं। तो वो क्या सुनना चाहते हैं, क्या हम उनको दे रहे हैं, वो हमें डेली बेसिस पे पता लगता रहता है। तो जैसे 2010 की बात करूँ, 15 की बात करूँ, तब हमारे स्मार्टफोन बहुत नॉर्मल हुआ करते थे, जिनके अंदर हम मैसेज भेज सकते हैं, कॉल्स कर सकते हैं, उनके अलावा ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा फ़ोटो खींच सकते हैं। लेकिन आज हर स्मार्टफोन में ऑलमोस्ट वर्ल्ड वाइड 540 करोड़ लोग होंगे जो स्मार्टफोन यूज़ कर रहे हैं, और उनमें से 80 to 85% स्मार्टफोन ऐसे हैं जो AI इनेबल्ड हैं। किसी भी फॉर्म में उनमें AI यूज़ हो रहा है, चाहे वो फ़ोटोज़ को और ज़्यादा सुंदर बनाने में हो रहा हो, चाहे हमारे ईमेल को सब समराइज़ करने में हो रहा हो, या फिर किसी और चीज़ में हो रहा हो, चैट GPT एंड ऑल हम सब समझते ही हैं। तो ये सारी चीज़ें जब हो रही हैं तो हम बेसिकली क्यों पीछे हैं? बहुत, क्योंकि हमारा जो बेसिकली ह्यूमन बिहेवियर है या फिर जैसा इंसानी दिमाग है, कोई भी नई चीज़ जब आती है हमारे सामने तो हम बहुत डरे हुए रहते हैं। आज मैं बहुत सारे लोगों से सुनता हूँ AI जॉब खा जाएगा, AI ऐसा कर देगा। एक्चुअली ऐसा नहीं है। अगर हम AI को इस तरीके से समझें कि AI हमारा दोस्त है, तो बहुत वो एक ऐसा दोस्त है जिसने सब कुछ पढ़ रखा है, जिसने सारे न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ रखे हैं, जिसने सारी बुक्स पढ़ रखी हैं, और वो हमारे एक बार कहने पर हमारी सारी चीज़ें सोल्व करने के लिए आगे आ जाएगा। तो अगर हम उसको इस तरीके से देखें तो बहुत सारी चीज़ें ज़्यादा बेटर हो सकती हैं, और जॉब खाना तो दूर, हम अपनी चीज़ों में इतना आगे चले जाएंगे जितना किसी नॉर्मल इंसान के बस में नहीं है। जो चीज़ें कुछ टाइम पहले घंटों में किया करते थे, वो आज मिनटों में हो सकती हैं, सेकंड्स में हो सकती हैं, और शायद उससे भी जल्दी हम कर पाएंगे, उससे बेटर कर पाएंगे। मैं 5 दिन पहले चाइना में था। वहाँ पे मैंने टेक्नोलॉजी को इस तरीके से, AI को इस तरीके से रोज़मर्रा के कामों में यूज़ होते हुए देखा है कि देख के ऐसे बिलीव नहीं होता। मैंने वहाँ पे एक एली नाम का रोबोट देखा, जो बेसिकली JW मेरियट होटल था, वो उनका एक पर्सनलाइज रोबोट है वहाँ पे। तो उन्होंने बेसिकली क्या कर रखा है, उसको इस तरीके से ट्रेन किया है कि रिसेप्शन पे उसको इनपुट दिए जाएंगे कि आपको बेसिकली 14th फ्लोर पे जाना है, 29th फ्लोर पे जाना है, 15th फ्लोर पे जाना है, और वो खुद से लिफ्ट लेगा, खुद से जाएगा, और जो भी चेक इन चेकआउट का प्रोसीजर होगा वो कंप्लीट करवा के आएगा। दूसरे रोबोट्स हैं जो वैसे ही खुद से लिफ्ट लेते हैं, खुद से वापस आके चार्जिंग रोड पे लग जाते हैं, और ये सच में बहुत एडवांस लेवल पे हो रहा है। EV कार्स की बात करूँ तो पहले हम कार्स को किस तरीके से देखते थे, नॉर्मल इंजन लगा होता है, 4 टायर्स हैं, ऊपर स्टेयरिंग है, लेकिन आज उनमें भी AI का यूज़ हो रहा है। हम फ़ोन से कार को खोल सकते हैं, उसमें पहले ही एयर वेंटिलेशन स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं। तो बहुत सारी चीज़, और मैंने और एक ख़तरनाक चीज़ देखी, जैसे यहाँ पे बैटरी स्वैप करते हैं हम स्कूटर्स में, जो हम बेसिकली डिस्चार्ज हो जाएगी तो घर जाके हमारे चार्ज लगाते हैं, और उसके बाद जो चार्ज बैटरी है उसको लाके हम नीचे लगाएंगे। लेकिन वहाँ पे गाड़ियों में, गाड़ी की अगर बैटरी डिस्चार्ज हो गई तो गाड़ी जाके उन्होंने स्टेशन बनाए हुए हैं, वहाँ पे लगेगी, और वो पूरी गाड़ी की बैटरी, एक्चुअली गाड़ी की बैटरी बहुत भारी होती है और बहुत तामझाम होता है उसको चेंज करना। लेकिन जैसे यहाँ पे अगर हमारे पास एक EV कार है, उसकी बैटरी में थोड़ा सा इश्यू आया, तो टाटा को एक्चुअली 20 दिन लग गए हैं उसको रिप्लेस करने में, बैटरी आएगी, ये होगा वो होगा, बहुत सारा टाइम कंजप्शन है जब एआई का यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं। बेसिकली वहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, सीधा जाके तुम उस डॉक पे लगोगे और वो बैटरी निकलेगी और दूसरी जो चार्ज बैटरी है वो विदिन 2 मिनट्स आपकी गाड़ी में प्लेस हो जाएगी। ये है एआई का यूज़।
थैंक यू अरविंद, आपने काफ़ी इलेबोरेट तरीके से हमें एग्जांपल्स दिए चाइना के, और किस तरह से ईवी सेक्टर में भी, रोबोटिक्स सेक्टर में और हॉस्पिटैलिटी में, इनफैक्ट जैसे आपने होटल का एग्जांपल दिया, टेक्नोलॉजीज़ का यूज़ हो रहा है। टेक्नोलॉजीज़ वाकई में काफ़ी ज़्यादा इंप्रूव हो गई हैं विद टाइम। वी हैव सीन द वर्ल्ड टर्निंग अराउंड व्हेन इट कम्स टू टेक्नोलॉजीज।
आपने पूछा, देखो डिसएडवांटेज भी हैं, ऐसा नहीं है कि हर चीज़ के एडवांटेज ही हैं, डिसएडवांटेज भी हैं, लेकिन टेक्नोलॉजी वहीं तक कारगर है जहां उसको समझ, आपको जितना समझ में आए, जितना आपको समझ में आ रहा है उतना उसको बहुत अच्छे से यूज ले सकते हो। जो लोग जिनको टेक्नोलॉजी आज मतलब एआई बिल्कुल भी समझ नहीं आ रहा, ये स्टूडेंट लेवल पे मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, जो 18-20 साल के हैं, 22 साल के हैं, जिन्होंने टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज नहीं लिया है, वो बेसिकली इस तरीके से यूज ले सकते हैं। जितने भी आपके साथ रील्स आती हैं, वीडियोज़ आती हैं, उनको आप इस तरीके से यूज करो कि मेरे पास 10 एआई टूल्स आए, 10 के 10 आप यूज़ करके देखो कि मेरी रोज़मर्रा की ज़िंदगी में कौन से हैं जो काम को और फास्ट बना दे रहे हैं। ऑल्सो ऐसे लोग जो ऑलरेडी जॉब्स में हैं, जिनके पास टाइम कम है, वो सबको यूज नहीं कर पाएंगे। तो आप ऐसे कुछ टूल्स नोट डाउन करके रख लो जो एक्चुअली आपके काम के हिसाब से सही हैं। जैसे
थैंक यू अरविंद, आपने काफ़ी अच्छे टिप्स दिए। आई थिंक ये बात आप सही कह रहे हैं कि until unless we start using technologies हमें पता नहीं चलेगा कि exactly उसका outcome क्या है। So I think that is one of the things. I would like to move to the next speaker. केसरी जी, सर आपने RPSC के बारे में काफ़ी अच्छे examples share करे, and I would like to understand from you, like coming from an examination board जो civil services के examinations hold कराता है, you people must be having immense data about Rajasthan's the students and the aspirants who are applying. So how are you leveraging these technologies, be it machine learning, be it AI, be it any other emerging technology, to tap into that youth dividend and leverage their potential?
This is really interesting question, I'll tell you. Rajasthan has got a lot of potential. Like, we have been interacting, we've been seeing students, we've been interviewing them, we've been conducting their exams. We conduct exam for about 35 lakh students every year. So that means the youth of Rajasthan, we are filtering it out. We are digitizing it. We are digitizing their the performance, what they've done in exams. So as of now, RPSC is sitting on a huge data bank of performance of the best of the youth of Rajasthan. So now what we can do is, here, we'll really look forward towards government using this tool. See, we already have resources. We have potential, and we want to do work on it. So, and the biggest problem as of now, Rajasthan, one of the biggest problem is unemployment. Sitting with this kind of a data and utilizing the AI with help of government, we can really segregate and give you, okay, out of these 6,000 people, if you are able to make one person as an RAS officer, we have data of 5,999 who can be utilized elsewhere with that kind of a thing. So as of now, I went to Kerala, we had a discussion of about 18 public services coming there, and they were also like worried for the same thing. The ready-made thing which RPSC can give as of now to Rajasthan government, and if the DOIT and the ministry is with us, we'll be able to solve the problem of people who they can employ for AI, for technical things, and for other things. What we are doing is, like what he said, as AI native, every time when the search starts, we have to start from zero. We have to go again, we have to collect, we have to take the data, call students, call aspirants, candidates. We are again and again getting into that mode of knowing them. However, everything is available. Now, as he was mentioning, the power of AI. Here the AI is a tool. AI is a tool to really utilize the potential which you already have. And we have already tested. Believe you me, within next 3 to 4 years, if you're going in right direction, you will find Rajasthan as one of the best states because the kind of potential we have. You see, if you talk about CAs as such, chartered accountants, 33% chartered accountants of this country, India, is from Rajasthan. This fact. And if you see the number of private universities which has come to Rajasthan, they're immense. If you see the performance of the students in Public Service Commission examinations, they are better than UPSC. Only thing is that we are sitting on it. We just are looking forward for a tool and the help from the government that we can turn the table, and believe you me, we'll be really topping the SDGs. Just waiting for that thing, the data to be utilized.
Thank you, Kesari ji. Thank you. I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that there is a huge potential that's already lying there. We need to tap into it and leverage that. Moving to Dr. Prabhat. Sir, while you were deliberating in your answer, you said that, students who have been given AI assistance came out, better than students who were not given AI assistance. So just I have a follow-up question to that. Do you think when we give AI assistance to students, at some point in somewhere, these AI assistance is actually diminishing our own skills, our own abilities to do our own work, which we would have been doing, if the AI was not there ourselves? Do you think it is impacting on us on the flip side?
Yeah, so this is one of the well-founded view about AI when we say that it will actually develop cognitive laziness over a period of time. But it depends on how the idea of AI native, which I spoke about, is to beat this idea, right? To create cognitive resilience. So I'll just give you an example. So we have given a dashboard to the student, and the dashboard has got 4 different chatbots for them. One chatbot is called Karl Marx. Now, here the students actually debate with this socialistic idea. So anything that the student is going to put up the scenario, Karl Marx will reply with his socialistic idea. So the entire debate with the Karl Marx. Now, students are assessed on the basis of the argument that he takes, not on the basis of what he is actually generating through AI. So that's number one. Second chatbot is called Crisis. So Crisis is about crisis leadership. So there are scenario built and then how the students navigate through crisis leadership. Third we have created is called Propaganda War. This is about persuasion and influence, right? And then we have a Christie, like Agatha Christie's name. This is about the critical reading and deductive logic, reasoning. Now you just look at that, how AI native works. Vis-a-vis AI, adoption of AI, just like that. So, you have to be careful about the fact that what are the 4 things that you would like in your student to develop. And then you develop your tool around that. I'll just give you one more example about a student success, which is a real example. You can see the impact. So we have given them something called, CV critiquing. So they can actually critique their CV. So they can upload CV, they can critique it. And then they have the audio interview practice. Per student, the audio interview practice, the HR practice for a company, that JD is uploaded, the CV is uploaded, and it's an actual interview that the bot conducts. Now, this per student interview is more than 20, around average, that is what. And then I'll tell you something very interesting. The BlackRock actually last year recruited about 8 students from Jaipur, our Jaipur campus. But this year, the BlackRock has actually recruited 16 students from us. It's just doubled. And then we started talking to the students, what made you succeed? He said, it's all practice. Now you look at the brain science. The brain science says that if you are not giving at least 3 to 4 interventions after the student has learned for the first time, then the learning will be lost. And within 1 month, the student will go for a more than 50% learning loss, right? So that is the theory. Now you see, if the AI is giving them several practices, like 20 practices, their learning is going to be robust.
Great,
so that
sir.
is how you have to think around AI.
Right.
This is
I
called
think
AI
I
native.
totally get the idea where you're coming from, and I think it's a very commendable initiative that they have taken when it comes to launching several AI bots, which are all of them are dedicated on different themes and basically helping students to train and to understand and develop their cognitive abilities around those themes. So that's a really worth appreciating initiative. Moving on to my last speaker, Heena. Heena, since our time is up, I would like to request you to be brief. But just procrastinating the future, if we see that in times to come, we might have a situation where I have a bot which is taking meetings on my behalf or taking little decisions on my behalf. So let's say if something goes haywire, if something goes wrong. So do we have, what do you suggest, what could be a legal framework, or what could be the right to resist that kind of decision, or to legal framework to challenge those algorithmic decisions? Do you think that we could come up with something like that?
I think human oversight, we cannot do away with it. We are already facing problems of employment, and we have to remember that we have to structure technology in a way that that profits the society and does not take away from what we already have. We cannot do away with human oversight. India has 2,500 dialects. I don't foresee in near future any natural language processing which can take into account 2,500, and we need to make sure that we do not exclude anybody. So let's not do away with human side. And on the legal part, I think government is already coming up with some amazing frameworks we are discussing. And I mean, on the legal front, I think government is already, at the front and doing amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Heena. And I think the time is up. My team has been signaling me, so it's time to close the panel. But thank you to all the panelists. You've been really wonderful, and the valuable insights you've shared. And to the audience who've been very patiently listening to this, thank you. Thank you very much.